This is RJ's Still Running podcast. I'm RJ, and I'm still running at 70 years old. I want to make a video on the correct way to tie shoes. So here's my shoe, and this is an A6 gel Nimbus. And just for information, I write the weight on the side, so it's 10.6 ounces, which is one of my heavier shoes. And the reason I'm wearing this one today is because I'm going on a long run, and I did a pretty heavy-duty strength workout the other day, and my legs are a little sore, so I'm going to use these shoes because you can see they've got a pretty good padding on them, at least probably 40 millimeters and 30 something in the front. So I've had these shoes a really long time. I mean, they might look brand new to you, but it's because I take care of them, and I'm going to do another video on that later. Anyway, what I do with these shoes is I always replace my laces with these laces. You can buy them on Amazon or anywhere, and they're not expensive, about $8 each or something like that, or maybe you can even get two for $8. But they're serrated, and that serration kind of locks them in. And so the other thing to note about lacing shoes is this last hole right here. And I call it the lockdown hole, runner's hole. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But if you use that hole, and most people, when they buy shoes, there's just a hole here, and they use this one, not this one. But when you use this hole, you can lock down the laces on your shoe. So I'll show you how that works. So what I do is, of course, you got to get the shoe on. So these are pretty tight, and because these things have that serrated, they don't slide easily through the holes, so it helps keep these laces and the shoe tight around your foot. Now, I don't like my shoes completely tight around my feet, where they push down on my instep here to the point where it hurts. But I do like it fairly tight, so my foot doesn't slip around in the shoe. So I'm going to put it on, and then I'll come back and show you how I lace it, how I tie it. In fact, I'm going to put both of them on. Here's another one. Pull this out a little bit so I can get it on. All right, let me do my right foot first. So I know this seems so simple, but there's an art to it. So what I do is I kind of snug these up because I don't like it to hurt right here on this instep. So I snug this one up fairly tight, not super tight. Then I snug these up. Then I pull this one and snug those up. Now here's where the magic comes in, and I'll see if I can get a little closer. You don't pull up on this because you can see what the lace is doing here with the lockdown. So you can't pull up and have it tighten down. So what you do is you just pull it across down like this, and you keep pulling down. I like to have them organized here, so I get that like that, and then I pull down, and then now they're locked down, and you can see that my foot isn't really going anywhere. And while I put them on, I push towards my heel, so that now I get a good lockdown. So like I said, if you watch real close, I kind of push up on my instep so that it's not completely full or tight. So hey, so here's another tip. Okay, when you tie this, and you can tie it however you want, instead of having the lace in the middle, you can see these are pretty long. And actually, here's another little tip for you. That's just a piece of shrink wrap on there, because I bought these too long, so I just cut them off, and I just put a piece of shrink wrap on the end, and that keeps it tight. So what I do when I tie my shoes is I always tie them away from the inside of my foot. And I'll tell you why in a second here. And I kind of do a double. I do a regular bow, but then I bring it over again, and that kind of keeps it locked down too. And now you see that the lace is over here, because what happens to me is if I tie it in the middle or over this way, these laces hit my leg right here. So anyway, I'm going to do the other foot so you see it again. So I'm going to tighten that down, pull this, grab this, I'm going to pull back like this. So I pull down, get them nice and snug, not tight so they restrict your foot. Make the bow over here on the end. So if you've ever had laces that are a little too long, all you got to do is just tie them over to the side, and then you kind of just push it off like that. And there you go. That's how I tie my shoes. And I hope that little tip, those tips help.